Something of a mystery surrounds the death of Lisa Swain, Vicky Myers' late wife Becky in Coronation Street. But as Lisa agrees to go to therapy, is she ready to face what happened? Becky was a police officer who was killed while she was at work. She was chasing a suspect who jumped into a getaway car and smashed into her, killing her instantly. Recently, Lisa revealed some more of the circumstances surrounding the death. Becky was under investigation by the anti-corruption unit at the time of her death. It seems that Lisa might not have been as supportive as she could have been because the couple argued on the date of Becky's death as the stress of the investigation took its toll. As Becky left for work for what would be the last time, she and Lisa were still mid-argument, which obviously was very hard for Lisa to bear. Lisa also told Carla, Allison King, that although the investigation was dropped, Becky never got the same kind of hero's send-off that Craig Tinker, Colson Smith, who also died in the line of duty, had been given. This was obviously a huge source of regret for Lisa and something that made Craig's funeral all the harder to bear. She told Carla that her wife never got the funeral she deserved. There are a lot of questions still to be answered about Becky's death. The driver of the car was Logan Radcliffe, Harry Lawbridge, and Betsy, Sidney Martin, visited him in prison to try to get some answers about how her mom died. He spun a story that turned out to be completely made up, and Betsy was no further forward. Was Becky guilty of the corruption she was being investigated for? Was she killed deliberately to silence her? How much did Lisa know about what, if anything, her wife was involved in? When Carla suggests that it would be helpful for Lisa to go to therapy to try to help sort out her feelings about what happened, Lisa reluctantly agrees. But very quickly, the therapy session becomes uncomfortable for her as difficult questions are raised, and she's faced with confronting things that she's kept buried for a long time. Is she finally ready to face what happened to Becky? Becky Swain was no ordinary police officer. Ambitious, principled, and fiercely dedicated to upholding the law, she quickly climbed the ranks of Greater Manchester Police. Colleagues remember her as thorough in her investigations, compassionate toward victims, and unafraid to challenge the status quo. On the street, it was whispered that Becky had her sights set on promotion to detective inspector, a goal she was determined to achieve. Away from the uniform, Becky was devoted to her wife, Lisa Swain. Their relationship offered a glimpse of love and stability in the often tumultuous world of police work. After Lisa's tragic widowhood when her first wife, Tommy Griffiths, died in the line of duty 4 years prior, Becky's arrival brought renewed hope to Lisa's life. The couple married in a low-key ceremony surrounded by close friends, including Carla Connor, whom Lisa had known since her days as a detective assigned to Weatherfield. Together, Becky and Lisa formed a strong, supportive partnership, both personally and professionally. On that fateful morning, Becky left home in her uniform, kiss on Lisa's cheek, though tension lingered in the air. Lisa and Becky had argued before bedtime, a heated disagreement fueled by late returns from police operations and secrets Becky insisted she had to keep. While the argument was not unusual in high-stress careers, this one remained unresolved as Becky departed for work at 6:30 a.m. Becky's last active duty involved pursuing a suspect believed to be involved in organized retail theft. Footage later revealed Becky in hot pursuit through back alleys of Weatherfield, her radio crackling with updates. The suspect darted into a waiting vehicle driven by Logan Radcliffe, a small-time criminal with connections to a larger ring under investigation. In a desperate bid to escape, the car lurched forward and struck Becky at the edge of the pavement. She was pronounced dead at the scene. To the public, it looked like a tragic accident, murder in the line of duty. But behind the headlines lay far more complexity. The suspect Logan claimed innocence, insisting Becky stepped into the path of his car. That claim, however, was quickly countered by forensic analysis, indicating the car was accelerating. Weeks after Becky's death, it emerged she had been under scrutiny by the anti-corruption unit. Rumors circulated that she was suspected of leaking confidential information, skewing evidence in an internal probe tied to alleged misconduct by senior officers. Some speculated Becky had been gathering evidence to expose a corrupt ring within the force, a brave but dangerous position to be in. Lisa confirmed to Carla Connor that Becky had indeed been in trouble before her death. However, she insisted the investigation was dropped due to lack of hard evidence. Yet witnesses include